Some energy experts say South Africans should expect power cuts this festive season after Eskom has been battling to keep up with generation units and power stations around the country tripping. I'm joined now by energy expert Professor Sampson, Mamphweli and OUTA's Duvenage. A very good morning to you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. Mr. Duvenage, perhaps let me start with you. As we assess the impact of Eskom's load shedding, the power outages, as well as the reasons that have been given as to why we keep experiencing these blackouts. What have you made of Eskom's performance this year and the number of reasons that have been given to us?
Well, it's, one wouldn't want to say that it's been good with the amount of blackouts or shutdowns that we've had on energy production because of a number of reasons. And I think we're seeing a lot more transparency from Eskom. They're explaining and they're giving the reasons as to what is causing these the blackouts or the need to introduce rolling blackouts. So, when it comes to what the future holds, we're in a precarious position with the amount of the availability of generation units out there. Even though Christmas is going to be very quiet from an energy consumption point of view, it does drop off with businesses shutting down and factories. That doesn't mean to say that there won't be blackouts, because they will obviously be taking down a few units to maintain and get maintenance up as often as they can. That we know is their program. When you do that and you have one unit going down, as we've seen, and now Medupi has a unit that has exploded, is going to take a number of years to fix. Those type of situations will put us into a very difficult position. So never say never when it comes to blackouts.
Professor, we would have assumed that with a lot of the factories closing down for the festive period and perhaps some people going away across the provinces, that the power outages would really not be something that will be ongoing during this time. I mean, that doesn't seem to be the forecast when it comes to what we can expect during the festive season from Eskom.
Yes, so logically that's what we would expect, but realistically we are sitting with two main problems. One is the fact that because of the aging infrastructure at Eskom and the improper maintenance that took place way back there, we have the power stations running at about 67% or so energy availability factor. So that's one of the problems. The second problem is that we don't have enough generation capacity. So when Eskom take down some of the units for maintenance, normally you would take down between 4,000 and 5,000 megawatts. And because of the aging power stations, they can't predict what will happen when, in terms of the other power stations. Remember, we were supposed to have decommissioned about 11,000 megawatts of coal-fired power stations. And that is coming back to haunt us because there was a delay in the introduction of new generation capacity. Government tried to come up with a solution with the procurement of power from power ships and other projects that were supposed to bring in about 2,000 megawatts or so. That program has been rocked by other challenges, especially with the power ship side of things. As things stand, Eskom needs between 4,000 and 6,000 megawatts new generation capacity on an urgent, extremely urgent basis. And we don't have that. Until such time that we have that, then we can then guarantee that the system will be stable and we will be able to have security of supply. As things stand, the system is very much vulnerable to breakdowns, and those breakdowns can take out anything between 5,000 megawatts and 10,000 megawatts. So if you look at our generation capacity, you have 10,000 megawatts off, and then you have about 5,000 megawatts down for regular maintenance. You can't also bring back the 5,000 megawatts that you've taken down for regular maintenance very quickly, because remember, it takes time to bring back a generation unit to life. So we unfortunately, we're still sitting with a big problem that, in my view, we need to look at some short-term solutions, and that could be sitting in the storage systems that we need to bring back from 2026 to like emergency kind of procurement.
Wayne, let me come to you. As we think about some of the challenges and jot them down and acknowledge them, we also know that throughout the course of November, Eskom's head, Andre de Ruyter, spoke a lot and gave a lot of updates and was very transparent throughout the processes of the load shedding and the power cuts. But we also know that there was, the motive behind why some acts of sabotage were committed when it comes to some of the pylons that were at the Letabo power station. And Andre de Ruyter speaking about how he believes that there may be an orchestrated campaign to sabotage Eskom. Why would something like that be taking place behind the scenes?
Well, it's hard to say, but we know that there's factionalism that happens in the ruling party. We know that there's a likelihood or a keenness to destabilize the current regime or the current people in leadership. And who knows that there could be forces behind the scenes that want to get the country into a very irate situation. You must remember as well that this was happening at the time of elections. And so there could be a number of reasons and motives to do so. And the more people can make the country upset with the current leadership or government, the more it plays into the hands of their opponents and possibly even trying to unseat the president in an internal ANC conflict matter. So that's the only reason I could think that type of sabotage is happening. And what we do appreciate is the transparency. The more I think we are informed as to what is happening and why it's happening and what they're doing about it, the more we can be comforted in the fact that things are happening as opposed to be kept in the dark, so to speak. Excuse the pun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let's wrap it there for now. Thank you for your time and weighing in on this topic. Professor Sampson Mamphweli, energy expert, as well as Wayne Duvenage of OUTA, speaking about Eskom and the expectations as we head into the festive season. One would have assumed that we would have sufficient power, but energy experts are saying load shedding is highly likely to increase over the festive season.